Back in 2018, there were two different anime MMOs that were on everybody's minds: Blue Protocol and Project BBQ. In 2019, there were three with the inclusion of Tower of Fantasy. Tower of Fantasy was a fun game, but due to poor handling, it let a lot of players down. Amazon Game Studios have upset players with Blue Protocol after announcing there would be some censorship involved in the full release. And while I have a dedicated video coming on Project BBQ with some info I guarantee you haven't heard anywhere else. Dungeon Fighter Overkill came out of nowhere, years after the big three were announced and took many players by surprise. This is a gorgeous anime MMO, not a gacha game, set within the larger Dungeon Fighter Online universe, taking what its predecessor did well and perfecting it, presenting us with one of the only true MMOs of its kind. And we have a 4-minute trailer showcasing everything we have to look forward to with regards to the game. So let's go ahead and take a look.
그때는 몰랐었네. 그것이 돌이킬 수 없는 비극의 시작이었다는 것을. 지워라.
The character models are beautiful, and they seem to just get better and better. Man, so few MMOs utilize a horizontal gameplay system, like a horizontal camera perspective. It's so unique because it's never done outside of Maple Story, Dungeon Fighter, I think Grand Chase back in the day. But see, it's fascinating because of what we just saw, but it's also fascinating because you can see the over the shoulder third person perspective as well, running around. And that wasn't present in Dungeon Fighter Online. It's very cool seeing some of the classes though from DFO.
너는 나를 죽일 수 없다. 그리고 나 역시 너를 죽일 수 없지.
Jesus. Dude, the abilities are sick. Oh my god. Was that a human hot dog? What?
위험한 일이 될 거야.
하지만 누군가는 해야만 하는 일이지.
Oh wow.
그래, 그것이 힐러. 그 뱀 같은 년의 계획을 어그러뜨리는 길이란다. 살아서 만나자고, 스티그마들. 안녕.
Well, that was admittedly a very fun, very cool trailer. Before we jump into specifics as to what Dungeon Fighter Overkill is, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon who allow for me to cover games like this every single day. Your guys' support is invaluable. Dungeon Fighter Overkill, much like its predecessor, is a very different type of MMO to what we're traditionally used to. The game features a largely side-scrolling perspective, allowing you to navigate horizontally and slightly vertically, but from what we've seen from within the trailer, it also seems to feature some over-the-shoulder third-person gameplay. This is the first time a Dungeon Fighter title hasn't been limited by a horizontal style of movement. Overkill is set within the same universe and world as Dungeon Fighter Online, taking place 14 years before the events of the main Dungeon Fighter Online game, and almost 800 years after the events of Project BBQ, which, again, I will be covering with some exclusive news and footage in just a few days. The upcoming MMO is under development from the same studio that has been in charge of Dungeon Fighter Online and Dungeon Fighter Duel, Meeple. Meeple have continued to demonstrate that they understand what players want in the form of video games, and I'm actually kind of excited to see where they take Overkill. The combat, which is honestly the main appeal of the game, looks as though it is even flashier and more impactful than in DFO, with special effects and abilities literally taking up the entire screen. So essentially, it's like you're playing a shonen anime. To appeal to the largest audience possible, Meeple did confirm that Overkill will be launching onto PC exclusively at the beginning, but they are contemplating full cross-platform functionality in the future between PC, console, and mobile. However, each version will be built exclusively for their individual platform in mind. This is not a mobile MMO. This is built for PC and will be expanded to console and mobile separately at an undisclosed date, and likely won't be plagued by the poor business model polluting the mobile MMO market. But at the same time, we're really gonna have to just wait and see if that's really the case. Honestly, I'm very excited for Dungeon Fighter Overkill. It's a beautiful looking game with stunning character models and could make DFO relevant again. It's unconfirmed if the game is launching in 2024. I honestly don't expect it to release this year in 2023, but it's a good bet to assume that we'll be able to play it in some form of test phase next year. It'll also likely be fully free to play. Now, if you're not interested in this new version of Dungeon Fighter though, don't worry, I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now that might be just what you're after.